Hello, my name is Pastor Kathy Kollar. I'm the pastor of Pleasant Valley Lutheran Church near Malabar Farm and St. Paul Lutheran Church in Lucas, Ohio. Greetings. We're reading through the Bible with commentary. We are in the book of 1 Samuel, and we are reading about David. King Saul has the first king of Israel, and now David is been anointed by Samuel and told that he is going to become the king. However, Saul at this point is still king. He is God's anointed at the moment. Well, they both are anointed, I suppose. Saul has a son, Jonathan, and they are Jonathan and David are friends, as we heard about in our last session. We are on chapter 20. David fled from Naioth to Ramah. In Ramah, he came before Jonathan and said, "What have I done? What is my guilt? And what is my sin against your father that he is trying to take my life?" So the last Jonathan knew, he was talking to his father, and his father said, "Oh no, I'm not going to hurt David." Verse 2, he said to him, "Far from it, you shall not die. My father does nothing, either great or small, without disclosing it to me. And why should my father hide this from me? Never." Why should Saul hide it from Jonathan? Probably because he knows that Jonathan and David are friends. So he doesn't tell Jonathan that he has once again gone off the handle, is angry and mad, and has tried to attack David, and David has fled. Verse 3, but David also swore, "Your father knows well that you like me, and he thinks, 'Do not let Jonathan know this, or he will be grieved.' But truly as the Lord lives, and you yourself live, there is but a step between me and death." Then Jonathan said to David, "Whatever you say, I will do for you." David said to Jonathan, "Tomorrow is the new moon, and I should not fail to sit with the king at the meal, but let me go so that I may hide in the field until the third evening. If your father misses me at all, then say, 'David earnestly asked leave of me to run to Bethlehem, his city, for there is a yearly sacrifice there for all the family.' If he says, 'Good,' it will be well with your servant. But if he is angry, then know that the evil has been determined by him. So I'm going to be expected tomorrow at this dinner, and when I'm not there, let's see how he reacts. And if you say, you make an excuse for me, and he says, 'Oh, okay,' then there's no problem. But if he does not accept that, then we know that there's a problem." Verse 8, Therefore deal kindly with your servant, for you have brought your servant into sacred covenant with you. But if there is guilt in me, kill me yourself. Why should you bring me to your father?" Jonathan said, "Far be it from you. If I knew that it was decided by my father that evil should come upon you, would I not tell you?" Then David said to Jonathan, "Who will tell me if your father answers you harshly?" Jonathan replied to David, "Come, let's go into the field." So they both went out into the field. Verse 12, Jonathan said to David, "By the Lord, the God of Israel, when I have sounded out my father about this time tomorrow or on the third day, if he is well disposed toward David, shall I not then send and disclose it to you? But if my father intends to do you harm, and the Lord do so to Jonathan, and more also, if I do not disclose it to you and send you away, so that you may go in safety, may the Lord be with you as he has been with my father. If I am still alive, show me the faithful love of the Lord. But if I die, never cut off your faithful love from my house, even if the Lord were to cut off every one of the enemies of David from the face of the earth." Thus Jonathan made a covenant with the house of David, saying, "May the Lord seek out the enemies of David." Jonathan made David swear again by his love for him, for he loved him as his own life. So they are good friends, and I think Jonathan realizes David is the one that is going to be becoming king, not him. Jonathan's not going to be the king. It's going to be David. And he is saying, "You're my friend. I'm a faithful friend. I'm on your side. And if he tells me that everything's good, I'll let you know. And if he tells me that things are not good, I will also let you know that and send you safely on your way." And by the third day, they mean the day after tomorrow. Verse 18, Jonathan said to him, "Tomorrow is the new moon. You will be missed because your place will be empty. On the day after tomorrow you shall go a long way down. Go to the place where you hid yourself earlier, and remain beside the stone there. I will shoot 3 arrows to the side of it, as though I shot at a mark. Then I will send the boy, saying, Go find the arrows. If I say to the boy, Look, the arrows are on this side of you, collect them, then you are to come, for as the Lord lives, it is safe for you, and there is no danger. But if I say to the young man, Look, the arrows are beyond you, then go, for the Lord has sent you away. As for the matter about which you and I have spoken, the Lord is witness between you and me forever. That the matter of, I'm going to be truthful with you, I'm going to tell you whatever my father says. So they've got a signal. The day after tomorrow, he's going to go out. How can he leave his father? He can go do target practice. And he's going to shoot, and he's going to send the boy to go pick up the arrows. And he's going to yell, and according to how he yells, he knows whether that's the signal. Verse 24, So David hid himself in the field. When the new moon came, the king sat at the feast to eat. The king sat upon his seat, as at other times, upon the seat by the wall. Jonathan stood, while Abner sat by Saul's side, but David's place was empty. Saul did not say anything that day, for he thought, Something has befallen him. He is not clean, surely he's not clean. But on the second day, the day after the new moon, David's place was empty. And Saul said to his son Jonathan, Why has the son of Jesse not come to the feast, either yesterday or today? Jonathan answered Saul, David earnestly asked leave of me to go to Bethlehem. He said, Let me go, for our family is holding a sacrifice in the city, and my brother has commanded me to be there. So now if I have found favor in your sight, let me get away and see my brothers. For this reason he has not come to the king's table. So his family wanted him, and he went. Verse 30, Then Saul's anger was kindled against Jonathan. He said to him, You son of a perverse, rebellious woman, do I not know that you have chosen the son of Jesse to your own shame, and to the shame of your mother's nakedness? For as long as the son of Jesse lives upon the earth, neither you nor your kingdom shall be established. You will never get to be king as long as David's alive. Now send and bring him to me, for he shall surely die. Then Jonathan answered his father Saul, Why should he be put to death? What has he done? But Saul threw his spear at him to strike him. So he threw his spear at David, now he's throwing a spear at his own son Jonathan. So Jonathan knew that it was the decision of his father to put David to death. Jonathan rose from the table in fierce anger, and ate no food on the 2nd day of the month, for he was grieved for David, and because his father had disgraced him. Verse 35, In the morning Jonathan went out into the field to the appointment with David, and with him was a little boy. He said to the boy, Run and find the arrows that I shoot. As the boy ran, he shot an arrow beyond him. When the boy came to the place where Jonathan's arrow had fallen, Jonathan called after the boy and said, Is the arrow not beyond you? Jonathan called after the boy, Hurry, be quick, do not linger. So Jonathan's boy gathered up the arrows and came to his master. But the boy knew nothing. Only Jonathan and David knew the arrangement. Jonathan gave his weapons to the boy and said to him, Go, carry them to the city. As soon as the boy had gone, David rose from beside the stone heap and prostrated himself with his face to the ground. He bowed 3 times, and they kissed each other and wept with each other, and David wept the more. They're not really sure what the translation of what it says there in the Old Hebrew. So when it says they kissed each other, think like French, on the cheek, Middle Eastern men. We're talking embracing, we're talking kissing on the cheek, we're talking a lot of emotion, and they're showing their emotion that they care about each other, and now they're having to say goodbye to each other because David's about to leave and run away. Then Jonathan said to David, Go in peace, since both of us have sworn in the name of the Lord, saying, The Lord shall be between me and you, and between my descendants and your descendants forever. He got up and left, and Jonathan went into the city. So Jonathan sends David on his way with love, with affection, with peace. Like there's no enmity between David and Jonathan. But David has to leave. It is now very clear that Saul is hating and angry and murderous toward David, and there's no hiding that. So Jonathan says, Okay, you're on your way. Peace to you. Good luck. Verse 21, David came to Nob to the priest Ahimelech. Ahimelech came trembling to meet David and said to him, "Why are you alone and no one with you?" David said to the priest Ahimelech, "The king has charged me with a matter and said to me, 'No one must know anything of the matter about which I send you and with which I have charged you. I have made an appointment with the young men for such and such a place.'" So he's lying to the priest. He's like, because David never traveled alone. He always had his little band of followers, or he had the 1,000 that he was in charge of, or he had people. Yeah, he's becoming an important enough person that he does not travel alone. Where's his entourage? So, this is a secret matter. I can't tell. Verse 31. "Now then, what have you at hand? Give me 5 loaves of bread, or whatever is here." The priest answered David, "I have no ordinary bread at hand, only holy bread, provided that the young men have kept themselves from women." David answered the priest, "Indeed, women have been kept from us, as always when I go on an expedition. The vessels of the young men are holy, even when it's a common journey. How much more today will their vessels be holy?" So the priest gave him the holy bread, for there was no bread there except the bread of the presence, which is removed from before the Lord, to be replaced by hot bread on the day it is taken away. So we read back in Deuteronomy and Exodus and Leviticus about how you put bread before the Lord, and then each day that bread is replaced with fresh hot bread. So the only bread that is on hand is the bread that has been put before the Lord, the holy bread. But they say, "Okay, we're going to give you this holy bread." Verse 7, "Now a certain man of the servants of Saul was there that day, detained before the Lord. His name was Doeg the Edomite, the chief of Saul's shepherds. David said to Ahimelech, 'Is there no spear or sword here with you?' I did not bring my sword and my weapons with me, because the king's business required haste." The priest said, "The sword of Goliath the Philistine, whom you killed in the valley of Elah, is here wrapped in a cloth behind the ephod. If you will take that, take it, for there is none here except that one." David said, "There's none like it. Give it to me." So he takes the bread and he takes the sword of Goliath. Verse 10, "David rose and fled that day from Saul. He went to King Achish of Gath. The servants of Achish said to him, 'Isn't this David, the king of the land? Did they not sing to one another of him in dances? Saul has killed his thousands, and David his 10,000s?' David took these words to heart and was very much afraid of King Achish of Gath. So he changed his behavior before them. He pretended to be mad when in their presence. He scratched marks on the doors of the gate and let his spittle run down his beard. Achish said to his servants, 'Look, you see the man is mad. Why have you brought him to me? Do I lack madman that you brought this fellow to play the madman in my presence? Shall this fellow come into my house?'" Chapter 22. David left there and escaped to the cave of Adullam. When his brothers and all his fathers heard of it, they went down there to him. Everyone who was in distress, and everyone who was in debt, and everyone who was discontented, gathered to him, and he became captain over them. Those who were with him numbered about 400. So word has gotten out. He's on the run. He's no longer in with Saul. He's no longer the favored head of 1,000. He is on the run, and people have come to him already. He's got 400, including his brothers. Verse 3, "David went from there to Mizpah of Moab. He said to the king of Moab, 'Please let my father and mother come to you until I know what God will do for me.' He left them with the king of Moab, and they stayed with him all the time that David was in the stronghold. Then the prophet Gad said to David, 'Do not remain in the stronghold. Leave and go into the land of Judah.' So David left and went into the forest of Hereth." Verse 6. Saul heard that David and those who were with him had been located. Saul was sitting at Gibeah under the tamarisk tree on the height with his spear in his hand, and all his servants were standing around him. Saul said to his servants who stood around him, "Hear now, you Benjaminites. Will the son of Jesse give every one of you fields and vineyards? Will he make you all commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds? Is that why all of you have conspired against me? No one discloses to me when my son makes a league with the son of Jesse. None of you is sorry for me or discloses to me that my son has stirred up my servant against me to lie in wait as he is doing today. Doeg the Edomite, who was in charge of Saul's servants, answered, I saw the son of Jesse coming to Nob to Ahimelech, son of Ahitub. He inquired of the Lord for him, gave him provisions, and gave him the sword of Goliath the Philistine. Verse 11. The king sent for the priest Ahimelech, son of Ahitub, and all his father's house, the priests who were at Nob, and all of them came to the king. Saul said, Listen now, son of Ahitub. He answered, Here I am, my lord. Saul said to him, Why have you conspired against me, you and the son of Jesse, by giving him bread and a sword, and by inquiring of God for him, so that he has risen against me, to lie in wait as he is doing today? So you guys are all acting against me. All you servants are not telling me the case. You're not telling me what's going on. And Doeg says, Well, Ahimelech helped him. Verse 14, Then Ahimelech answered the king, Who among all your servants is so faithful as David? He is the king's son-in-law, and is quick to do your bidding, and is honored in your house. Is today the first time that I have inquired of God for him? By no means. Do not let the king impute anything to his servant, or to any member of my father's house. For your servant has known nothing of all this, much or little. The king said, You shall surely die, Ahimelech, you and all your father's house. The king said to the guard who stood around him, Turn and kill the priests of the Lord, because their hand is with David. They knew that he fled, and they did not disclose it to me. But the servants of the king would not raise their hand to attack the priests of the Lord. Then the king said to Doeg, You, Doeg, turn and attack the priests. Doeg the Edomite turned and attacked the priests. On that day he killed 85 who wore the linen ephod. Nob, the city of the priests, he put to the sword, men and women, children and infants, oxen, donkeys, and sheep, he put to the sword. Verse 20, But one of the sons of Ahimelech, son of Ahitub, named Abiathar, escaped and fled after David. Abiathar told David that Saul had killed the priests of the Lord. David said to Abiathar, I knew on that day, when Doeg the Edomite was there, that he would surely tell Saul, I am responsible for the lives of all your father's house. Stay with me, and do not be afraid, for the one who seeks my life seeks your life. You will be safe with me. Another case of way too many people getting killed, way too much of distrust, and too much of Saul being hateful, spiteful, sure that everybody's out to get him. And of course, Saul is in some ways causing all of this himself by driving Jonathan and driving David away, and really treating his son Jonathan almost as badly as he's treated David. So of course David runs away. He's been threatening him. And of course, he always went to the priest before. Why should the priests treat him any differently than they ever do? But Doeg the Edomite, who, of course, being not an Israelite and from somewhere else, that is always, oh, you're one of those. So David is now on the run. He's living out on the lam. He's living out in the hills. He's got people following him. He's got at least 400 guys ready to fight with him. He's taken his parents and put them over in Moab to keep them safe and out of harm's reach so that they cannot be attacked for being his parents. And he's got a priest that's come because all the rest of the priests have been killed. And it's basically a civil war. And we will hear more about that in the next session. So I think, how do we apply any of this? How easily it is that we can get suspicious and impute things to people that are not fair at all. And as Saul is feeling so suspicious and so untrusting and so jealous and all of these things, he really brings a lot of it on himself. And that's a shame, because in the end, David was just trying to be faithful to Saul and to Jonathan and to do what was right before God. And in the end, what is right before God sometimes is not an easy choice. We try to make that choice anyway. And now may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord look at you with favor and give you peace. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Go in peace. Like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for being here.